Hello, it's Judy from Thistledew Creations here, and I pulled out my inks and stamps and stencils today, mostly to work on some St. Patty's Day stuff. And I started doing some Friday freebie pages, which is just backgrounds that I've done on paper, and then I share them on my Facebook group. And one thing led to another, and I ended up with this beauty. And so I thought I would just do another one. I'm loving this so much, and I want to just do it in a different color now. I want to do some teal roses. So I've got the teal background out, and my Valentine's Day, what do you call it? Placemat that I'm using as the stencil for these roses. So I'm going to put it this way this time, and I'm going to get these 3 roses, and then this little bunch of littles, and this little bunch of littles, and a few leaves. But I'm going to use my teals instead of my purples this time. So I'll get those out there. Blushing and Brofinch is very pale. Carved Jade is darker, and Blue Dome Roots is a little bit in the middle. Blushing and Brofinch. Blue Dome Roots is very dull, and then Carved Jade is really dark. So we're going to go with the same idea we did here. We did the dark purple in the center of the big flowers and as the entire inking for the little flowers. And then we went over it with our sparkly watercolors. So that's the next step. But let's do the roses first. So I'm going to start with the Carved Jade. And probably the Blushing and Brofinch, and then I don't know if I'll even use the Blue Dome Roots. Let's get these. Carved Jade and Blushing and Brofinch. So the dark goes on the small flowers. And then the center of the big flower. And the center of these smaller flowers. And then I've got a couple of the little ones over here. And I want to do these little ones in the dark. And then the lighter color, I don't even know if this is going to show up. I guess it's going to blend out the darker one, and that'll help it show up. And then around here, and around here, maybe a little bit here. And then I want to move the stencil. Actually, I'm going to do some of those leaves first. So I'm going to do the leaves with the vintage photo. I'm going to stick with that. I did vintage photo with a little bit of green. I think on this I might just want the vintage photo for the leaves. We'll see. going on the aqua background. I'm thinking it might make it look a little bit greenish. I don't think it's greenish enough. And then, as well as the leaves, I did this sort of lacy edge looking, these dots. I did those in the vintage photo. And this little lacy bit around here. Almost like there's a doily behind that rose, which is kind of cool. And this little band. And then we've got a couple more leaves over here, so let's do them. And these dots. And these dots. And then before I take that stencil up, I just want to go over it with this green that I haven't re-inked. And just see if that makes a little bit of a difference there. And I'm not trying to do the whole leaf, just kind of down the middle. So that's what we get from that. And then I want to add more roses. So you see how I got quite an abundance of roses on this one. So I want some down in this corner of the little ones. I'm going to put them there, and I'm going to get these cross hatches in the vintage photo. And these dots in the vintage photo. And then carved jade for these little ones. And I think this needs like a medium-sized one, so I'm going to put that one there. Starting with the carved jade in the center and going to the blushing and brofinch around the outside. And then maybe that other smaller one beside it here in the corner with the vintage photo in between them. So this should be an easy stencil for you to get your hands on if you've got a Dollarama. There might be some left. I just love the roses, just absolutely love them. And then I'll do these ones up in this corner in the carved jade. And just those few little bubbly dots in the vintage photo. And then this corner also needs something. I'm going to put more small roses there, I think. I didn't get that one very well. That was this one. So I'm going to try it with the carved jade again. And then the vintage photo around the edge. Yeah, that's better. Much nicer. And then more of the tiny roses in the corner. I just love those. I love the intensity of that carved jade. And I love it with the brown. Now on this one, I don't know if I really need to do the watercolor, but that's what made this so gorgeous in the end. was that shimmery bit of watercolor on top. So let me just think about what I want to do here. I've got the jade. I've got a shimmery color that's the aqua, but I don't think it's going to show up very much. I might be better off to highlight with the silver or something. Let's cover our inks up. I think we're done with them. Let's ink the edges before I put that away, because the last one I had to ink the edges when it was all wet from the watercolor. This is archival ink, so it's not going to run from the watercolors. So first step is to get yourself some watercolor paper and just paint the backgrounds with the watercolors. Just whatever your little heart desires. Some of them I did like an ombre effect. Some of them I just did a color wash. It doesn't really matter, just getting rid of the white background. And then you just start layering stencils and stamps and things on top of it. So I think I will try to use a little bit of this pewter, I think it's called. Yeah, it's called pewter, the silver one. I do like silver with my teal. And then I'll use one of the, maybe the bronze, the one beside it, for the leaves. So I'm just doing basically where the white, not the white, but the lighter background is, just going over it with the watercolor, kind of following those lines. It does give a bit of shimmer as well as kind of make the rose come to life, I think. There's that one. This one right in the corner. Be nice if they did like the reverse of that stencil too. Actually, I guess I could use it like a stamp. Maybe I'll try that next. Good plan, Jude. I have been meaning to do that. I have a bunch of stamps or placemat kind of things that I could use as a stamp. Kind of getting in a bit of a hurry, so I'm trying to slow down here now and not cover up all my teal. And maybe a wash would be better on these. I'm just basically putting some silvery gray mica over them. It's almost too dark. I don't want to lose the teal accents. I don't know, does it just look like I'm wrecking it? You guys can probably see better than me. And then for the leaf parts, I'm going to try doing those in this bronze. I'm just doing these vein areas in the bronze. I don't know if that's the right color to use on this. This one might not turn out as pretty as the purple one. I had high hopes for it, but so far I think it's in the ugly stage. Let me know what you think. And then this kind of bit of lace can get outlined. Probably should have done that in a different color, but it's okay. These are easier to do than the roses. And then I think some cross hatches in this coppery color, which is called bronze. Just in these bare spots, just kind of doing literally a cross hatch, like a dry brushed. And then I could also do like coming out from the rose. I've lost my little roses. I might have to go back over that with the ink again when it's dry. I think it would be worth doing. Because I'm not as enamored of this one as I was of the purple and pink one, but I think if I put some of that turquoise back into it, that would do it for me. So let me just make sure this is dry enough. And we could do some more right here. Got all the leaves. So these little ones are the ones I'm really concerned about. Just wanting them to be better. Just going over them again. Yeah, that does it. Even if I don't get them lined up perfect, it's still giving me back that rose effect that I kind of lost when I did that wash over top of them. Even if they're not lined up exactly how they were. Yep, that fixed it. That could use a little more help. There, that did fix it. And then maybe even where the rose is, the big ones, maybe I could do that again too, and just even on purpose not having it line up, and just giving myself, again, the impression of a rose. Oh yeah, that's doing it. Right over top of the other one. Just kind of blurs those edges. This one right here, and a couple of more small ones up there. Can use this stamp for that. And down here, I think this was like on this size. That's better. And then maybe one more little spray of them over here. And then some splatter. I forgot to splatter the last one, and I was angry at myself after I turned off the camera. So let's splatter with ivory. This brush already has quite a bit of the coppery color in it. Might have to clean it off a little bit. And get some cleanish water and go into that ivory. And give it some good splatters. The only problem when I hit it with the other finger is I get it coming up in my face. And I really want it to go down. And I think maybe a few cross hatches of the ivory too, just to use it up. And along here especially, some ivory. And then this lace, some ivory. There. Keep going until it's done. Don't give up on it. You can always go over top, over top, over top. Sometimes you end up with a muddy mess, but most of the time you'll end up with something pretty. Especially with these metallics. They're just so pretty. So I think it did need that little bit of the bronze to kind of make things pop a little bit. I don't think that was the wrong answer at all. Let me just do some X's here for that feeling of a bit of lace. And same thing here, I can just do kind of X's. That's kind of what I started over here with the cross hatches. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's already inked. Teal and silver and bronze and aqua. Very pretty. I'm still not sure I like it as much as this one. This one's all dry and shimmery. It's the same idea, it just turned out different. This one had more of the beige in between everything. Maybe I should do some more of that. Sort of a wash with the lighter ivory. Got some just from my water there that I could some of these in-between spots just to give it some different dimension instead of just being all aqua. Even though it wasn't a solid color to begin with, it still kind of gives it more interest. And then a little bit of that ivory right over top of that big rose. And these other bigger ones. There. Not quite dry yet, but I think it'll be good. So thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying seeing me create these little art papers. This one was actually one of the pre-printed pads from the Dollarama. Every page has a picture on it that you can just paint. And I thought I might do those, but this is prettier. So that's the ones I've done today, as well as this one. So that's been fun. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll see what we create. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, but most of all, have a great day. Thanks for watching.